Oh, hello. I have to teach. Okay, so welcome to Module 6, Lesson 7. We're looking at a data chart in our application problem. So our application problem says the chart below shows the length of straws measured in Mr. Hahn's classes. So I've rewritten the chart here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 numbers in each row and 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. Now, as the label says, these straw lengths are measured in inches. So one of the straws measured 3 inches, one of the straws measured 4 inches, one of the straws measured 4.5 inches. So we have a few questions that we have to be able to answer based on this chart. Our first question is, how many straws were measured, and explain how you know. So to figure out how many straws are measured, if each one of these numbers represents a straw, all I have to do is simply count each one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 straws. Or, for those of us who remember the array model, I could do 1, 2, 3, 4 rows of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is 4 times 5, which equals 20 straws. So my answer to this question is 20 straws were measured, and I know because I counted. Next question, what is the smallest measurement on the chart? So the way that I found this is I looked at all the numbers and I put my finger on the smallest one as I went through. I went row by row. So I start at 3. Is 4 smaller than 3? No. Is 4.5 smaller than 3? No. Is 2 3/4 of an inch smaller than 3? Yes. So I put it here. Is 3 3/4 smaller than 2 3/4? No. So I already said that one. 4.5 is not smaller. 3 1/4 is not smaller. 4 is not smaller than 2 3/4. 4 3/4 is not smaller. 4 1/4 is not smaller. 5, 3, 3.5, 4.5. So far it looks like 2 3/4 is my smallest measurement. One more row. No, that's not smaller. No, that's not smaller. No, that's not smaller. No, that's not smaller. And no, that's not smaller. So my smallest measurement was here on the top row, 2 3/4 of an inch. So here I have to write 2 3/4 is the smallest measurement. Now, what's the largest measurement? I did the same thing when I figured this out. 3 is the biggest so far. Now 4 is bigger. 4.5 is bigger than that. 2 3/4 is not bigger than 4.5. 3 3/4 is not bigger than 4.5. That is not bigger than 4.5. That is the same as 4.5. I'm not even going to move my finger. That is not bigger than 4.5. That is not bigger than 4.5. Oh, 4 3/4 is bigger than 4.5, so that's my new biggest. 4 1/4 is not bigger. 5 is bigger, so that's my new biggest. 5 is the biggest so far. 5 is bigger. 5 is bigger. 5 is bigger. 5 is bigger. Here they tie. So 5 is my biggest measurement. 5 inches is my biggest measurement. And our last question says, were the straws measured to the nearest inch, and how do you know? Is this measured to the nearest inch? Yes, because it's measured to 3 inches. Is this measured to the nearest inch? Yes, because it's measured to 4 whole inches. But here's where we start to come into problems. This is measured to the nearest 1/2 inch because it has a 1/2 inch attached. This is measured to the nearest 1/4 inch because it has a 1/4 inch attached. Nearest 1/4 inch, nearest 1/4 inch, nearest 1/2 inch, nearest 1/4 inch, nearest inch. So were the straws measured to the nearest inch? Some, yes. But were all of them measured to the nearest inch? No, they were not. How do you know? Well, I know because I have 1/2 inch measurements and 1/4 inch measurements all over my chart. If I turn this into a line plot, I keep my title the same, straw lengths, straw lengths. My numbers are all placed down here, and I know these are measurements of inches. Each X represents one straw, and if I looked at my chart, one straw measures 2 3/4 of an inch. 2 straws, 1, 2, measure 3 inches. 2 straws measure 3 1/4 inches, and so on and so forth. So I can turn this data chart into another model that displays the same data. Now, this is going to be important when we go over our debrief questions, because we're going to be talking about what this looks like and what different types of display models represent. I'll see you then.